Thank you to Star Wars Battlefront 2 for sponsoring today's episode. Does Iron Man sacrifice himself in Avengers Infinity War? Guess what, y'all? We've got a theory! Big surprise! The official trailer for Avengers Infinity War dropped yesterday, and as the long-awaited blockbuster that caps off 10 years of Marvel filmmaking and begins to close out Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it has given us a lot to chew on. We're still wrapping our brains around all of it. Iron Spider, Hulkbuster, a flesh and blood Vision, that might have been the creepiest, battle in Wakanda, and Cap is back with a beard. Get this man a shield and a beard comb. But as packed as that trailer was, we haven't even seen the full slate of heroes and friends who will appear in the film. We didn't see Hawkeye, Ant-Man, or the Wasp in action, or maybe we did see Ant-Man and the Wasp, but they were so tiny they just hitched a ride in Peter Parker's arm hairs. Ew! Would you be able to see your body bugs? From who and what we saw in the trailer, there are loads of potential spoilers and fuel for conspiracy fires, so time to grab our tinfoil hats and dive into our very own theory on how Iron Man will sacrifice himself in Infinity War. Minor spoilers might lie ahead.
Finish him!
Diving right in, at the very top of the trailer, we see a sad and worn down Tony Stark nursing an injured hand, his own or possibly someone else's, we're not really quite sure, seemingly after fighting Thanos on what looks to be Titan. Tony is armorless in this shot, which makes us think this is towards the end of his battle with Thanos. We also see Tony in that same location in his armor, getting TKO'd by Thanos.
Finish him!
So the major question is, why would he take off his armor during a battle with the Mad Titan? Now, we think there are two possibilities here. One is that Tony's Iron Man suit gets so trampled and wrecked by the Mad Titan that it's unwearable. Now, we've seen his suit get torn apart in hand-to-hand combat with Cap in Civil War, so it's definitely a possibility. And with 2 stones and Thanos' gauntlet by that point, he could for sure deliver the types of wallops that would render Stark tech useless.
You can't beat him hand to hand.
That doesn't necessarily explain why Tony Stark, the wisecracking smartass of the MCU, would be so dejected at this point. We think there's something about this fight in particular that affects Tony personally. Maybe he's just freaked out that he can't stop Thanos on his murderous crime spree, but we think it's something deeper than that. And here's where the second possibility comes in, and I'm kind of in love with this theory. It looks like both Tony and Spidey are in New York City when the Circle ship appears, so they could have both tracked down Thanos to bring the fight to him in the hopes of preventing him from doing damage anywhere else. We also see in that trailer that Spider-Man gets a pretty bad beatdown by Thanos too, in the same setting as the Iron Man fight, with Thanos slamming Spidey down like he's a ragdoll. And as we saw in Homecoming, Tony has reluctantly taken on the role of father figure to Peter Parker and feels responsible for the teen. And Peter, armed with his Iron Spider suit and his general willingness to step up and prove his worth, would try to have Tony's back in a Thanos fight where things could take a turn for the worst for both of them. So we can see Spider-Man getting so horribly injured by Thanos that Tony Stark, in an attempt to save the teen, takes off his armor and puts it on Peter Parker to fly him off to safety. Now this would, of course, leave Tony stranded, sacrificing himself to save Peter Parker's life. And really, Tony has been a lot more reckless and willing to sacrifice himself for the greater good of both the team and the world ever since the first Avengers. He probably still feels some guilt from the Ultron incident and the events of Civil War. One might even go so far as to say he seems to have a death wish. So would Peter Parker getting hurt drive Tony Stark to actually sacrifice himself to save Peter? We think so! And I'm sticking to that. But of course, this is just a theory, probably a really good and right one, but still just a theory, and we won't know for sure what will happen to Iron Man until May 4th, 2018, but knowing that Robert Downey Jr. has been considering how he will exit from the MCU, we think this type of sacrifice would be a super smart way to close out RDJ's time as Iron Man. But what do you guys think? Will Iron Man make it to the end of Infinity War alive? Which Avengers do you think will lose in Infinity War? And did you see Ant-Man in that one shot? He was just really small. Let's discuss. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is out now. Check out the new single-player campaign as Iden Versio, commander of the Imperial Special Forces unit Inferno Squad. Plus, Battlefront 2 also features multiplayer battles spanning all 3 trilogies, gorgeous worlds from the prequel trilogy like Naboo, and pilot ships like Darth Maul's Scimitar and Han Solo's Millennium Falcon. Battlefront 2 is available now for PS4, Xbox One, and PC wherever games are sold.